What is going on, everybody? Long time no see. Just give me a second while I get everything set up here. Alrighty, guys. So it's been a long time since I've been on YouTube Live. Not because that's on purpose or anything like that. Just we've had a lot of stuff going on in our personal lives here, and I wanted to share some updates with you. I'm not quitting YouTube. Just have to figure out how to prioritize things in our personal life, and so I'm here to tell you exactly about what we're going to be doing. So if you could just let me know where you're chiming in from, and let me know what's going on, that'd be awesome. Just put in the comments real quick while I get everything set up. So, how are you guys doing this evening? It's good to see you all. Sorry, like I said, it's been so long. William Wackman says, tricky. Look, man, I tell you, it's been a long time. So, first things first, if you guys don't know, we have two small babies. And things were still pretty easy when we had one baby, but now that it's two, really tricky. However, I've actually done a lot of projects and recorded them, and finding the time to edit them is totally a new task. Also, as you can see, I'm recording at work in this big warehouse, and we've been working overtime here. So obviously, Goodview has to slide to the side because this is my full-time job. But we got some good news. The shop is being built. The Goodview Woodwork shop is being built at the house. And on the 23rd, we should have the footers are going to be dug and the forms will be built for the concrete pad. So that's going to be pretty awesome. Brian P. is from, he says, Hogansburg, New York. He's right on the Canadian border. What's up, Brian? How you doing, man? And so the purpose for this video is just to check in with you guys. I haven't posted a whole lot, but the goal is to continue to start posting. I know I say that a lot, but I have a lot stored up that I want you guys to see, and maybe we can learn together on some things. And we're actually going to be going in a different direction with the Goodview Woodworks channel. What I mean by that is we're still going to have the DIY stuff, but we're going to be moving more towards what it's like to have a woodworking business, okay? Because that's what I'm moving into. I'm finding that my small side business that's been here for a while is actually becoming a lot because I still have a full-time job, and that transition, whenever that's going to happen, is going to be a big one. And so I want to kind of bookmark this chapter, and that way you guys can see what's going on at the same time as it's going on, right? So hopefully that makes sense. William Wagner says, well, when you do it, really shoot for the fence. Yes, and hey, William, now that you're on here, man, thank you so much for all the support, bro. You have really, guys, if you're watching this in the replay or live here, give a shout out to William Wackman. That guy's awesome. He has really supported the Goodview Woodworks channel pretty much since the beginning, back when we had the little contest, the Cheapskate Challenge. I don't know if you guys remember that, but we used to do that. And so, yeah, he says he's always happy to help. So, with that being said, I'm gonna move on to some of the stuff that that we have been working on. So we completed a double waterfall table. It's my first double waterfall table. If you guys don't know what that means, what that is it is a single slab, but you miter the ends so it waterfalls down and the grain is continuous down to both sides. We actually we have video of how to do that, what tools I used, and we're gonna be breaking this up into videos so you guys can do it too. And I think that the change of what we're gonna be doing on the Goodview Woodworks channel is I want to teach you guys how I did it, but also monetarily speaking, what it looks like, the tools that I had to buy for that specific job, and why I chose to buy the tools that I bought. So that way you guys can learn from what I'm doing. Also, and like I said, I'm learning as I go as well. But I think I made some really solid purchases when it comes to tools. We bought a few different tools. I don't want to give away. I want to leave it for the videos. But we did that. I actually made one of the biggest repairs in the epoxy river table world here. We had a table separate, and from when I first got into it, I'm saying, hey, I sealed the edges, and that don't ever do that. And I've seen other YouTubers who do. Like shout out to Blacktail Studios. He seals the edges every time and never, hasn't had any issues. I'm gonna tell you, the problem that I see, I would still say I won't seal the edges, but it was actually part of my fault for not prepping the edge right. It wasn't solely sealing the edges. And I'll show you exactly what I find in this video coming up. You'll see exactly where I went wrong. I've only had one table do this. Obviously, I've learned from my lesson. And out of the many tables that I've made, that was the only one that we had a mistake on, and I'm gonna show you guys how to fix it. So this video coming up, I'm about to pull that one out of the form. And so we have a video series on repairing something that has split along the river without trashing it, okay? So we're gonna get to that. Let me get to some of the, I'm reading some of the comments. I'm gonna get some of the comments, and then I'll get right back to you guys. So, let's see, Bill S says, hey bud, what's up, Bill? And then William Wagman says, the B-hole, okay? So I finally started on the B-hole. That's another one of the videos that we have coming up. And if you guys don't know, years ago, one of the, William Wagman sent me this beehive. And I was trying to describe how I was going to epoxy it, because he had the idea of epoxying a beehive and turning it into bowls, or putting it on the lathe and turning it into something, but he suggested bowls, I think, if I remember correctly. And I was trying to describe how I was going to fill up the beehive. And I said, we're going to pour epoxy into the bee hole. And so that sounds really suggestive, okay? So, but I didn't mean, I meant B-E-E, as in the insect, not the other one. So that one's pretty interesting, so that's going to be cool. So that's what William's talking about when he says the B-hole. And then Jeremy, peace. What's up, Jeremy? How you doing? Says, I turned the video on, and the first thing I saw was Gronkowski. I thought Nathan had started using growth hormone for a minute, but it was just a commercial. Yeah, definitely not. The only thing that's gotten some growth is because of No Shave November. I still have this scraggly, patchy, kind of like almost Amish beard going on. Steve No says, long time no see. Hope you and your family are doing well. Looking forward to watching from northern Michigan. So, yeah, guys, thank you so much. Yeah, I know it has been a long time, but we do have a lot stored up. I have a lot of videos saved up, and it was just because of time editing. If you guys have ever had children, if you've had children, if you haven't, just from what we've been going through is, for some reason, our kids do not like to sleep. And for the past almost 2 years, we've been getting up an average between 4 and 6 times a night. So we're not getting good sleep. And man, it is just really hard. So, so yeah, it's been crazy. But this is going to be a change. We're going to get back at it. I miss YouTube. I love posting videos. It's just super hard. So I want to get back at it. And like I said, we have some big changes. We actually there's going to be a big deal happening in probably the next 6 months. And I don't want to give it away. But I think there's a trend that's happening, not in the woodworks area, but more the automotive area. I'm not going automotive, even though that's something that I'm very familiar with. It's going to stay with woodworking, but it's going to be something kind of like an idea that I kind of pulled from there, and I don't want to give it away. So it's going to be happening next 6 months. We're actually working on a different website for Goodview Woodworks. I'm having somebody build another website. So we're going to start progressing. This is going to change stuff. It's going to be way different, and I'm excited for you guys to join along with me. Steve West says, hey Nathan, just moved to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. From Grants Pass, Oregon, setting up new with all my tools. Can't wait to get back into it. Got lots of dark walnut. Grant, that's a long move, man. All the way from, I've been there. I've been to Grants Pass because we did a video collaboration with Mike over at Stone Coat Countertops. And he set me up for a couple days in a hotel. And so we have a video collaboration. If you guys want to ever go check that out, you can. We did a collaboration. It was really cool. So man, that's really far. Grants Pass all the way here, man. That's crazy. What's it like? Do you like it better on the East Coast rather than the West Coast? Let me know. Um, Mike Flickinger says, "Hey, how are you doing? Hey, are you doing these tables as a full-time job now, or do you have another job?" No, I'm not doing it full-time right now. I'm actually at my full-time job, which we work as a railroad contractor, so we build control houses for the railroad, and that's, as you can see in the background, we have like a lot of storage and parts and stuff up here on racks. That has nothing to do with epoxy tables. But my boss is he's the coolest person I've ever worked for, and he allows me to use some space over there to work on my epoxy tables. I've kind of outgrown, if you guys had seen the original shop that I used to work in, I've outgrown it. I actually don't have enough space for tools and tables in there. And so I'm actually building, we're having a steel building put up on the property, a 30 by 50 foot steel building, and we should have the concrete slab poured the first week of December. And after that, I've already put the down payment on the building, and so they said that once the concrete is poured, they're 2 weeks out. Just me to let them know when they're done, and they'll be 2 weeks away from installing it and setting up. It only takes 2 days to set it up. So I'll be recording all of that so you guys can see how that goes. So I'm gonna be moving from like I don't know how wide my shop is now. I think it's 7 feet wide by like 12 feet long, super small. And so, like I said, I had hardly any room for tools and tables. So it's gonna be a really big change. Richard Collins says, glad to see you again, Nathan. Been missing the YouTube sessions. Yes, and I'm getting back into it. As a matter of fact, I've still been doing classes at Woodcraft, so that's kind of kept it up, kind of the teaching thing, so that's been really fun. But I really, like I said, I really miss being on YouTube. You guys are an awesome community, always commenting and watching the videos. I really appreciate it. I love getting the comments, even the bad ones. You know what? I love the haters too, and they're awesome. I chuckle every time I get a bad comment, which is not that often. I'd say 95% of the comments are good, and sometimes you get a bad one. I remember one time on one of my videos, I had a wasp fly in front of my face, and I said, I hate bees, right? And I had a guy comment on there talking about how bees, you know, are super good for the environment, and I'm a terrible person because I hate bees and all this stuff. and so I just replied, I mean wasps, because I hate wasps. And he never responded. So, but I love getting all the comments. It's awesome. Steve West says, yeah, I know those guys. You're talking about the Stonecoat guys. Mike Flinger says, sounds awesome. Kind of in the same position, trying to figure out if I should do this table thing full time. You know what, man? Really, what it comes down to, and what I'm finding is, it doesn't really matter what you do as long as you enjoy doing it. Whenever you are at a point where you're just dreading what you do, you know, to me, it'd be a time to either reevaluate or try to figure out what you like and do that, right? So, obviously, my passion is woodworking. If you guys have watched my channel at all, you would know that I am a Christian, and to me, just seeing, you know, I feel like God gives us purpose. And me, as a woodworker, you know, I have this dead piece of wood, and it's really cool to see the connection, how I give this wood purpose, right? It's kind of dead, doesn't do anything until I make it into something, give it a purpose, and the Lord kind of does the same thing to me, gives me purpose. And so it's really cool to see that connection. Steve West says, love those vids from your old home shop with your father-in-law, question mark. Yes, yeah, so that's another thing too. So my father-in-law is also a woodworker. He does awesome stuff. I have, some of the videos are actually at his house, where he's helped out a few things. But yeah, he comes down and helps me out too. And so he was super excited to find out that I was building a shop. And hopefully the plan is they'll be moving down from Michigan to our house in Virginia. That would be great to have them move to our area, because we could really rock out some videos at that point. Steve No says, have you used the pre-made forms to make a table? Yes and no. Yes, I own a couple of pre-made forms, but they're charcuterie board, serving tray size. I don't have any the size of a table, and that's because most of the tables I do are not the same size. They're one-off projects. As a matter of fact, we have a project coming up with a woman wanting a dining table that can sit 10 people, and she wants benches made. So we're going to do matching benches as well. And so that's going to be really, really cool. That's coming up. And so there would be no real point in making, unless I got to a point where people were buying the tables already pre-made. But right now, all I do is commission pieces. But yeah, I just take commission pieces because I don't really have the ability to stock up a bunch of materials and wait for it to sell. You know what I mean? William Wackman says, so you're saying you need some artsy stuff made by us users to decorate the shop? Yes, I would love to. I would love to. I've had a few people, if you've watched some of my live streams in the past, in the background, if you see my computer in the background on the shelves, I have stuff that people have made and sent in. I always display. I would love that, William. That'd be great. That'd be super cool to decorate the shop. This shop is gonna be massive. It's 30 feet wide, 50 feet long. It has a bigger footprint than my house. And it's 12 feet tall, so there's gonna be a lot of empty space. I actually have the roll-up door, the 10-foot, it's a 10-foot roll-up, 10 foot by 10 foot roll-up door on the front, and the 36-inch regular man door on the same wall, so that I can have as much wall space as possible. So it's going to be awesome. We'll have a lot of empty space on the walls to put stuff. And that's my goal, man. I want this to be a shop where people can come in. It's going to look nice, you know, but it's going to be my shop. So I want to decorate it and put some cool stuff in there as well. William says, Operation Bombard the Goodview Woodwork shop. Yeah, man, that'd be nuts. And Steve knows, dying laughing. Bruce Mayer says, Mayer? Bruce says hi. What's up, Bruce? How you doing? Long time no see. Bruce has just got here, and Steve says, you'll be surprised how quickly you fill that building. I know. Well, what's crazy is thinking about the tools that I have, I would think to myself, I don't have a ton of tools, and now I have enough that I can't even work in my little small shop that I had before. So a lot of the stuff too is I have friends who are woodworkers or older, and when they upgrade, they give me their older stuff, and dude, I'm happy to take it. So old stuff works too. Bruce Marr. Okay, thanks, Bruce. Sorry about that, man. Appreciate it. Richard Collins says, still waiting to see if you finish the nightlight for your daughter. No. It's still sitting in the block inside my office. But yeah, I do need to finish that for sure. Bruce Mars says, what up? I missed you. I appreciate that, Bruce, man. Yeah, I missed all you guys too. I really did. Steve says, my building is 30 by 40 and it's full. William Wagman says, sounds like a good problem to have. For sure, man. The cool thing is, hey, I meant to ask you guys, I know you guys are not, you're not watching Goodview Woodworks necessarily for automotive stuff, but I have a question for you. Leave me in the comments. Tell me exactly what you're thinking. So my grandfather, I don't know if you remember from my videos, he passed away a couple years ago. Okay, and I learned a lot from him. Awesome guy. I looked up to him like a lot, and he gave me his tractor after passing away. It's an old 1948 Ford 8N. And for a few times I used it. We still used it at my grandmother's house to cut her grass until it blew a head gasket about 2.5 years ago. And so I have it at my house now, and I'm going to be replacing the head gasket. Would that be something that you guys would want to watch on an old Ford tractor for me to rebuild it and put it to use at the Goodview Woodworks shop? Let me know. Bruce says, I've been busy in the shed and you're always in my head when I'm doing epoxy work. Yeah, man, that's awesome. I appreciate that. What's crazy too is I also am thinking about certain things when I'm pouring epoxy, and this one guy that I'm fixing his tables, good friend of ours, I always am thinking about him whenever I pour black walnut and black epoxy, because that was one of the first big jobs that I got years ago. and that's what he wanted, black and black. So it always makes me think of that. It makes me think of him when I do the same thing. Steve says, "Heck yes." Well, I can't always say that stuff. I don't want monetization to be taken away from Good View. And then William Wagner says, "Need stuff for it when we own 11 NH dealerships." What you talking about, man? Bugs. Bruce Maurer says, "Bugs. You remember the bug in the epoxy?" Well, I got the same. Yes, I remember. So what happened? What happened? What kind of bug got in there? This one, I remember that it was actually two bugs. One didn't mess up anything. It actually came out of the wood while the epoxy got hot, but the other one, landed in the surface of the flood coat. Bruce Marr says, "How do I?" Oh, he says, "How do I send pics of my work to you?" Great question. If you go to goodviewwoodworks.com, there's a place where you can message me down at the bottom of the home page there. Actually, I think it's the About Me page. Anyways, you can send me a message there, and once I reply to that message, we can then through email send pictures back and forth. Tamayo 1980 says, "Yo, what's up? What's up, Tam?" And then Aaron Hungate says, "Hey there, fella. What's up, Aaron? Long time no see, man. Actually, I've been following your stuff on Facebook. You've been doing a good job. And that one Star Wars table was pretty dope. Pretty dope." So yeah, so I got one heck yes from Steve No on the tractor. Is that something that you guys would like to see? That thing's pretty awesome. I mean, 1948, it ran until 2.5 years ago. And I'm going to keep that thing working. It comes with a bush hog and a grading box, but those things are all, I mean, you can find stuff at the Ford dealership for those things still, like on the shelf. Which is pretty awesome because they didn't change for such a long time. It was actually painted by my grandfather when he took it apart the first time. He painted it. It's supposed to be gray and red or orange or whatever it's like orangey red, and he didn't like it, so he painted it a different color when they changed the color to blue and gray. And so I'm probably going to keep it blue and gray just because he did that, because he liked that. So Tam says, "Good answers. I'll send some pics. I have no Facebook, but been following you from day one. How's the family now?" Man, day one? Really? Dang. Family is great. Kids, they're now 2 and 1.